you keep in mind that for the well-being of children in this township, not talking ratables, taxes, or anything, although I certainly feel it, but that's the point. That's a highly important thing, that they have recreation, especially apparently since the township doesn't have extra money. What we would call in business a negative cash flow. Oh, we're going down instead of up. So it's nice to have a recreation for children, and if possibly parents come too. What I'm saying here tonight is this. I want to go on record this way, and then I dump the headaches off on you, okay? Try in any actions that you take to keep in mind that it is great to have as a good size. This thing about 2,000 cars just blew me out of my seat. I grabbed my cane. So I didn't know about that, and I'm not going to get into it, and you're talking about zone changing and not the size of it. But I say this. Is anybody giving some thought in any way as an initial step? You can go step 2 for this and step 3 for that.
Jerry.
Yeah.
No, not you, Ab.
No, I know not me. If I hold up my hands, they'll stop, right? Hit him with the cane.
Come on.
All right. Here is what enters my mind. You know, I came here with a uni purpose, and that is to provide the facilities for recreation for children. And I want to get into the price factor because that's a business thing. I'm out of it. I'm out of the loop, as you say. Is it possible to do this on some kind of a phased arrangement so that I'm not going to argue whether you put up a 35-foot building or a 60-foot building. I don't really care. I don't care. I just care for a facility that has recreation. Is there any thought, is it possible, so that this facility can be built apparently immediately on the 22 acres, not immediately, but with the okays from the boards, on the SED for 22 acres. I mean, that in itself would not pose a problem going through the boards. Isn't that right? Do you follow me? No? Start all over de novo? What I'm saying is that the 22 acres that's SED.
Mr. Maggott, I want to answer your question a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were puzzled. Okay, sure.
I believe it did go back and forth on moving the whole project up into the 22 acres.
No,
So
I'm not asking that.
You just asked if it could be built on the 22 acres that's zoned SED. I don't know. If I didn't hear that.
Wait, no. Let me modify
Okay.
what I said of miscommunication. I don't care how many discussions there were before.
Okay.
I'm starting from a square one now, and I'm saying, I'm asking you, were it agreed that this bigger one would be built on 22 on the SED in terms of boards and so on, that wouldn't pose a problem, right? If somebody said, yeah, I agree.
If the project was all included in the SED zone, there would be no problem.
Thank you. That's what I want. Now, so I'm saying this right now, okay? I'm thinking small, and from small gets big, businesses, all right? Everybody's in business.
How much time?
All right, forever, infinity. Parallel lines meet, I'll see you there. All right. What I'm saying is this. You have what's called, and I saw it sitting here, a conundrum of monumental size, which is on one hand, you want to provide a facility, on the other hand, you're making a zone change, which is not only for this business, but for other businesses. Something to think about when everybody is also talking, and I can't challenge that, this area, that area, stuff like that. What I'm saying is this. If people would get their heads together outside of the board here, outside maybe of taking an action tonight, but contingent on considering an action another night, you talk about a human intelligent approach which says, let's talk about changing the ARE6 because maybe it's valid, but a lot of considerations seem to be thrown in. How about an initial start? So I guess we don't have a 2,000, it's a crazy number, parking lot, 1,000, whatever. something modified, go, and here's why I say this. I've had life experience where a tiny business, one time I was the owner, just grew and grew because of demand and wish of people. So what I'm saying is this: how about going back to the discussion table with the understanding that Howell is not turning its back on any business, including this one, but to start smaller on 22 acres, and it's a go deal. Because what happens on the additional 20 acres that you're hoping to accommodate somebody, you're also putting in another 30 acres. I would think you want to throw that into your consideration. So I don't know. Maybe I've just made a whole bunch of jumbled spaghetti here, but what I'm saying is you want business, they can start out smaller, because they don't really know in this fiscal crazy United States we have where the business is going to grow, because we know where the swamp we're swimming in. Foreclosures all over the place. Well, maybe it'll end soon, hopefully. I certainly hope so. Within my lifetime, that's a good question. 10 years, right? 35 minutes. But please take that into account.
Thank you, Mr.
See,
Hagan.
so this is where I sit now. More talk is needed among people, whereas if you say no or yes tonight, rather than maybe a meeting from now, maybe you're stubbing your toe. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. Magan. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. Okay, we're going to reconvene the meeting. Everybody, conversations, please cease them. Cease those conversations or take them outside. Please close the door.
Mr. Mayor, given the time, I would like to move that we extend the meeting for 1 hour.
I'll move that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Give me a roll call on that.
Mrs. Clark? Yes. Mr. Memolo?
Yes.
Mr. Vislaki?
Yes.
Mrs. Dalton?
Yes.
Mayor Walsh?
Yes. Okay, listen, we have about 10 more people that have signed up to speak. And yes, this is an ordinance, so people can speak as long as they want. Okay, but I would appreciate it if they could try to stay reasonable. But you do have the right to speak as long as you want. I don't want to tell nobody that they can't speak for as long as they'd like.
Mr. Costigan would like to get on the list to speak.
Mr. Costigan, you want to be on the list also? You know what, Mr. Costigan, come on up now.
I'll wait. You got all these people waiting, I'll wait. Don't let him go last.
Mr. Costigan, if you want to speak, let's go.
You know what, then I won't speak. I'll speak last, unless you have someone.
All right, hold on.
Or I won't speak.
Okay. All right, Bill Gatto. State your name and address, please, Bill, for the...
Yes, sir. Bill Gatto, Abraham Drive in Howell. Due to the late hour, I'm not going to say as much as I would have liked because it would have been repetition and nobody wants to hear that. And 2 weeks away from Election Day would be viewed as politicizing an event, which I won't
It's
do that
okay,
either.
sir.
But I'm trying to listen to everything I can, and I've heard every comment that I possibly can. And I would really like to hear some of the representatives from the MAC people come up here so we can make comments about them like they've been making comments about every person who's been stepping up here. That would be interesting. But, you know, I know there's a fine line and a fine balance between increasing revenue and providing world-class recreation facilities in our town. But I can't imagine for the life of me what the urgency or why this has to be done now when you had the chairman of the master plan subcommittee come up here and say at the earliest opportunity this would be something that would be addressed. I understand that you're trying to do the right thing, but when you go to the step of zoning and changing permitted uses at the council level, I just think that's such a last step solution to do. I don't think you're there yet. So I really think you need to stop, take a fresh look, and go a different route with this.